Hey. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, everybody. We are on the YouTube. Are we, Mark? We're on YouTube. And Facebook and Instagram and all the places where I would be live. And here I am, live, okay? Your December Astrology Prediction and Prescription for all zodiac signs has arrived right here live. And this month's astrology is a 3-card pull per zodiac sign. We're going to be doing the energy of the month and what to do about that per sign. The Shaman's Dream Oracle deck is the deck that we're using. And remember, this is a predictive reading that is prescriptive, right? So I'm saying, here is what I tune into in terms of the energy coming up, and here's what to do about that. Now, if you're going to look at this, your sun, moon, and rising sign, you will end up with a 9-card pull. Oh, I see everybody's, they're saying hi to me now. We didn't have this before. Hey, from Florida. And there's Mary. Good morning. And who else is here? Everybody's here. Hey, guys. Elva is here. This is so fun. I can see people saying hello to me. This is the first time. That is Patty the Healer. Hey, hey. I said hello to myself. I was going to say hello, Colette. Michelle Orris is in the house. So nice to see everybody. There's Tula. Okay, so you know that there's going to be a 9-card pull. So your sun sign, say you're a Scorpio, so you're going to be reading the 3 cards for Scorpio first, and then say Virgo is your rising sign, then you read that next, then you look at your moon.
Oh, look who's a Virgo.
The journey to becoming me. Yay, Virgo! Somebody says that. Dina McFadden, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so if you don't know your birth chart and you're brand new here, you're going to want to find out your sun, your moon, and your ascendant, or your sun, ascendant, moon, because this is what we look at. If you're a triple something, don't worry about it. You just read the 3 cards that are for that sign. You go to, there's a link somewhere here. You're going to click on that link to go to astro.com. And I want to talk to you about something amazing. So I've been really looking into how we engage in trauma bonding and how we have issues around our attachments, and why cord cutting when we come to cord cutting in aggressively, it doesn't work. So I got together with Colin Bedell, who is an amazing astrologer. We had him on Inside the Universe. If you look him up on Queer Cosmos, he's extraordinary and super smart. And so we had to talk about doing a cord-cutting ritual to prepare for the solstice for everybody, and do a workshop for you guys for free, to prep for the solstice, because the solstice is a marker. There's so many solstice ceremonies, etc., and I thought, why don't we do that and really show people, according to their moon signs, the best way for them to let go their attachments so that they can be free. Or I could say you could be free, or I could be free, we could all be free. And the way that we do it is through the opposite sign to our moon. So please take a look at theastro.com, find out your moon sign, because it's going to be really profound. We're going to have prizes, we're going to have giveaways, we're going to have fun. And I'm going to do a beautiful meditation ritual, so that, and it'll be recorded too, for those of you who can make it live. That's amazing. And if you can't, you'll have a recording. Everybody will have a recording anyway. But really get prepared for the solstice, because this year is such a pivotal year as we move into 2023. And we all know this. Listen, the past 3 years, we've all been on the same roller coaster. I think there's this really profound opportunity this month, especially now with Mars in retrograde and all the planetary influences, Jupiter ruling this month. We're in Sagittarius season, and there's some really beautiful higher truths that can come out of this, and a way for us to be gentle and honoring of all these attachments that have actually caused us to not being able to move forward. So we're going to be doing that. That's going to be amazing. So it's going to be called the Free Energetic Cord Cutting Ritual According to Your Stars, with special guest astrologer Colin Bedell. So get notified when we open the doors to this free event. Go to, and I'm just reading this because it's going to be in the, what do you call that? Above the, whenever you see this after, you can click on the link, but just go to ColetteBaron-Reid.com/cord cutting, and you'll be able to sign up for the event. It's totally free. We're not we're not asking you for anything. We just want you to do this for you because I think we all could use it. And it's very interesting to understand attachment theory and how it's different for every person. Very interesting. Okay, so, goodies to check out inside the Wooniverse. We have this week the most extraordinary man, Dr. Robert Pang, who is a Qigong expert. Phenomenal, very interesting, had lots of stories to tell. So check out the podcast. The Oracle Circle membership is cbrlove.com. And of course, you can sign up for my weekly newsletter. So let's move on. That was me reading because I can't remember all that at once. And let's start with the readings for December. Now, December is, sorry, something keeps showing up on my face. I think it's a little bug in here. We have those little tiny no-see-ums around our plants, even though it's winter. And every once in a while I get, and they like to land near my mouth. It's like very, okay, here we go. So we're looking at Aries. Now, if you watched the 15-card spread yesterday that I did live, really what we looked at a lot was the need to be tender this month in December. And rather than run around distracting ourselves and, kind of buying into that intensity, when everything is blown up by Jupiter, but it can also be very hopeful. We need hope. We absolutely need hope. So that's why I love December. That's why I love the Sagittarius vibe, because there's always hope attached to it. But we want it to be grounded and rooted in compassion for ourselves as well as others, and setting really healthy boundaries. And so this month particularly, we're not out of the woods at all for what got stirred up during Scorpio season, when we're invited to really look at, how we rise up from our own ashes is to actually burn the house down, right? Somebody said yesterday in my mastermind, burn the house down and now you can see the moon. So, and when we say that, it's really about burning out the things that really don't serve us at all, that prevent us from being close to other people, whether it be our judgments of them, our resentments, or even, the stories that we tell ourselves and how we other ourselves and others for not being perfect or whatever. And there's a long list in stories, okay? So now we come into December, and it is a holy time. So how can we make our experience sacred? So that's kind of the question that the cards are going to be speaking to each sign. So here we go for Aries. How's Aries going to? Oh, Aries is doing good. Okay, so Aries, yes, that's it. The overwhelm and plenty that can come in December. That's the, I'm really watching the cookies. I love these like gluten-free cookies, ginger snap cookies. I like, wow. I can't even smell them. I just go bananas. So I have, anyway. So for Aries, here we go. So we start with Fortune's Wheel. This is really good. So Aries feels like you're in the right place at the right time. To be able to make these good choices, when you're overwhelmed. For Aries knows, and Aries is pretty cut and dry. Like, that's it, boom, no. My husband is like that. It's really great. And that's you're pioneers. You're the people who start things, the fire starters. There's this beginning and all these like really good things. And you will get a chance to do that with people because gathering around is the power of community. But the center card does remind you that the minute you feel overwhelmed is the minute you set the boundary and leave. So for Aries, too much is definitely too much this month. So be very, very careful not to overindulge. Hear that, Mark?
Yes.
What?
Don't look at yourself in the little corner.
I'm not. I'm looking at the cards.
Okay.
Why am I looking? I'm looking at the cards here and here. Yes. I might.
Because we see you looking.
Okay, so I'm looking at the cards because the cards are there and they're right here in front of me. Okay, so we have the power of community is really important for Aries to honor. But again, I just want to summarize this before my husband said those things. To be very careful not to overindulge. Overindulge with too many people and saying yes to things that you want to say no to. But also recognize that because you have luck and right timing, you're going to make the right decisions. I'm not worried about the Aries at all this month. It's really great. And you will have a chance to do some really beautiful healing for yourself. And also because you're in community, the idea like, Yeah, you know, I feel better now with everybody. I feel better now. Okay, so now let's take a look at Taurus. Let's see Taurus. Okay, there we go. So Taurus, the first card is Me Talks, which is repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Interesting that both Aries and Taurus had at least one card that reminds us of the healing quality of this month. Bless you, Mark. So the Divine Feminine Cosmic Womb is the next card, followed by the Wall, which is about obstacles. So Taurus, you need to slow down this month and definitely watch the overindulgence, because here the obstacle is if you don't take time for self-care. That's there's obstacles to anything that you want to start, anything that you want to give birth to. Now is the time really to actually say goodbye to things rather than say hello, because the hope comes when you do radical self-care. So if you have Taurus anywhere in your chart, if it's your rising sign, your moon, of course your sun sign, be aware that the price of not putting yourself first this month in December is the obstacles that will come up that will prevent anything that you really need to get going, and you're going to feel very, very stymied. So if you do this, again, the repairing mind, body, spirit, which is in your behavior and when you say yes or when you say no, quite simply, then it does enable you to birth something new, to move gently around the obstacles that are there, right? So that's actually quite positive. So again, put yourself first, Taurus, and the rest follows, and your obstacles dissolve when you do that. If you don't do that, the obstacles will prevent the things that you want to see come to fruition or move forward, etc., etc. There you go for that. Now let's take a look at Gemini. I love these cards. I love them. Okay, here we go. Gemini. Oh, we're live. Okay, so I should shuffle them faster. Oh, that's nice. Gemini is heart home. First card is about compassion for yourself and others. Wandering between realms. Again, you know, interesting that this trio is so straddling worlds and stars in the sky. So we start with compassion for ourselves, being at home in our own skin, being with other people, and feeling that that's our primary residence, if you will, is a sense of compassion. And what is compassion? Is the desire to reduce suffering, right? And it is also the action and behaviors and thought processes, etc., that help bring down suffering for yourselves and others. But the wandering between realms means that that's more general, that there's nothing specific that you need to work on. It's more of the overall tenderness that we need to feel for one another. And for the Gemini personality, I know my friend Deborah is always super tender-hearted and tender with others, and that's a big thing, and she talks about that a lot. My friend Deborah Silverman. So it's again, there's nothing specific here. It's kind of like bring it with you everywhere. And as a result of that, as a result of leading with compassion, it's like there's so many possibilities of connection, but also connection not with necessarily other people, but with yourself. You gonna say something, Mark?
Yeah, there's someone on Facebook called Bryant Contreras. We don't know who you are, but could you please stop messaging people to send, requesting readings?
Oh!
Or soliciting?
No, we don't
reading?
solicit in our
Bryant
lives.
Contreras.
Very bad Bryant Contreras.
Yes, you are a very bad lady. Brian, stop it.
Stop it.
We're going to get rid of you. Stop it.
Just enjoy yourself in here. You'll find your own clients. That's not so
Everybody
good for
will say right now, do not respond to Brian. We don't know who she is, and we don't
Or
know
who
if
he
it's
is.
legitimate
Yeah.
or anything. So,
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Well, there you go. There you go. Okay, so now let's move on to Cancer. Yes, we aren't fish in a barrel for people to come and pick out. But this is the nature of the world these days. So at least we're nice about it, right, Mark? We'll let our fans take care of them. Okay, so now this is for Cancerians. And again, if you have Cancer rising, if you have Cancer moon, this will apply to you as well, too. Or if your kids are Cancer. I always find these are very accurate when you look at your children or your husbands or wives or partners or whatever. So here we go. So Cancer is sacred contract to the divine, and that's your number one priority, and that's your number one intention. So yay, 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 yay. So let's talk about these three cards. So the sacred contract for what, right? So we have a sacred contract or a covenant, and a covenant is something that is very important. What is your sacred yes? So the galactic mushroom is the second card that describes what the sacred yes is. And that is the relationship that you have to your higher power and everything in the world that is spirit, which of course is everything. But it's to recognize the spirit in all things. Everything has, and everything is connected, and everything is connected through the matrix of spirit, the divine matrix. And so this is really key for Cancerians to remember. And that is your intention. The eye of the needle is intentionality. So to remember that you have to ask, is this my sacred yes? So, you know, preparing for December for Cancers might be a good idea too, to say like, what is my sacred yes this month? Like, I have a tendency to say yes to too many things, then I get overwhelmed, and my husband reminds me, you said yes, you should say no, right? And here I teach about boundaries, right? So I know that if I list my sacred yeses, these are the things that I know are going to enable me to be compassionate, to allow my tenderness to come through, and I won't be scrambling. If I write those down, then I know, right? That's it. So, you know, actually, to be honest with you, whether you're a Cancer or not, this is good advice for all of us. So now let's look at Leo. Do we have, is Brian still at it?
No, our team removed Bryant. Everybo's safe now, please. We never, ever, ever solicit on here. We
No.
don't think anybody should either, so.
No, we don't. No, and I think that's just, you know, it's just normal. But maybe, you know, we will never. Oh, by the way, too, like if a Instagram, a YouTube, or a Facebook request comes in saying to you that it's me and would you like a reading, or that I wanted to talk to you, I would never do that. So, and there's a lot of copycat, fraudulent sites, but you got to use your instincts. You know that I wouldn't do that. So and listen, I'm not going to get mad. When people come in, we just get rid of them. Okay, so we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to spread the cards out, so I'm going to choose for Leo. So now let's look at Leo. Oh, that it makes sense. Leo, grace and generosity, spiritual narcolepsy, and hollow bone teachability. So here's what's interesting.
Can you push those up?
You want me to push them up? I'll move this. This wasn't such a good idea when I saw it in the camera. It looked good in front of me, not in front of you. Okay. So the first card for Leo is the benefactor. So the December offers you grace and generosity, which is in alignment with the Leo personality. A Leo is the most generous, big-hearted, you know, out there sign. However, you have to be very careful that with spiritual narcolepsy, the falling angel, the next card, is that your motives are clean for being generous. Like, there can't be strings attached. Or like there can't be, well, there can be, because as long as you're really aware that, ooh, that wasn't maybe the right thing for me to offer. So be careful that you're not looking for people to like you when you're being generous, or, you know, when you're overdoing it because you think that you have to, you know, hustle your way into a place to be liked or cared for or belong, right? That's got to go. So you may notice that. You also may notice, if I look at spiritual narcolepsy and teachability, the hollow bone together, and falling angel, we think also spirit will be generous with you when you make a boo-boo. That's the other thing. So when I read this way, you know, it's even if you misstep this month, you're okay. You can learn from that, and no one is going to be like calling you down because you might have said something at the dinner table that maybe you shouldn't have, and you can make amends. So this is actually quite a gentle month for Leos, but just pay attention for your motives. Remain teachable. You don't have all the answers. That's the other thing. So Leo, you're not the one at the table that's telling everybody all the most amazing ideas that you have that could have already come from somebody else. So just pay attention this month, Leo. I think that this is part of the tenderness for you, is to remember it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay not to be perfect, which normally I would think that a Virgo would want to hear that, but hey, it turns out Leo does this month. Now let's take a look at Virgo. I have so many Virgos in my life. They help me stay organized. I remember when my birth time was wrong and we thought that I was Virgo rising, and I kept telling the astrologers, my Virgo is broken. I'm not this person. Well, it was, because it wasn't true. And Mark can attest to that. My broken Virgo.
Her Virgo is non-existent. I
What?
can attest to that.
I have Libra rising, which makes total sense. Okay, here we go, Virgos. All right, Virgo, spirit of the river. You're gonna have some fun, and that is also true. The holy fun, the mystical fun for this month. Ancestral wisdom, lay of the land, and joyful muse. Well, it looks like Virgos, you're having a good time, which I love. And this is also remembering that you're going to have a good time, and also that you already know how. That's the other piece, right? So this is movement toward adventure. That's coming for you in December. Ancestral wisdom is, this is what's coming through, which means this is something I know. It's familiar to me. And sometimes the ancestral pieces are things that we don't want, but this is saying you do, right? This is very much saying this is you become inspired by what you have been impacted by, or something that's with you. So this is beautiful. It's a beautiful time for people to remember family. Certainly for Virgos, this is going to be a moment for you to feel like, yeah, I can really connect, and the tradition, something that you maybe make or cook that's traditional will bring you an extra bound of joy this year. Okay. Not assuming that everybody has the same holiday, but we all have some holiday during this time. I think there's 261 holidays or something during December. Okay. Now, let's look at Libra. So Libra, Sky Dancers. That's a surrender card. Closing door, completion, and the power of community. Now, this is beautiful. Yes, I know. Move them. My husband's waving at me behind the camera going, move the cards. Okay, so first card for Libra is Sky Dancers. Now, Sky Dancers is the card that represents divine surrender, when you just know that you'll be carried. So this is trust. It's a card of total and absolute trust. That when you close the door, so this is very apropos that we're doing the cord cutting ritual on the 13th of December, because this is a time, especially for Libras, to close the door. Libra being the sign of, partnerships and beauty and, getting together, and sometimes codependency is the shadow of Libra. So, and to actually finally recognize that you can close the door on the old behaviors that prevent you from actually being a healthy member of community, right? So, but it is also a month for you to meet people and see people, etc. And also know too that you might be closing the door on, it's really more on behaviors, just really on behaviors that prevent the community. And this is a beautiful, beautiful month for Libras. As long as you remember primary purpose, surrender to spirit. If you don't do that, well, I don't know. This is just what the cards are saying. You'll have an opportunity to do it. How about that? I always wonder, what if they don't do it? Well, I don't know. just dawned on me. Well, that's actually the energy that summons us. Sometimes we get co-opted by it or enlisted by energy that we didn't plan for. So this is really the enlistment of energy, and then what do we do about that energy? Okay, so now Scorpio. I have so many wonderful Scorpios in my life. Oh, you also got the surrender card, Sky Dancers. And you got Straddling Worlds. And the end card is Lost in Space, Needing Direction. Okay, so Scorpios, if I were to look at this, I don't want you to look at this as anything negative, okay? So when you hear surrender, wandering between realms, and needing direction, or lost in space, you think like, oh, what does that mean? But the truth is that you're surrendering to not knowing. And to seeing what's new. So, this is about being open, because you're not where it's not landing on any specific place, and allowing yourself, surrendering to being wandering between realms and learning new things and being open to new perspectives and perceptions and ways of seeing things that maybe you were really rigidly stuck on something before. Maybe you were mad at somebody and now you're not, and you're realizing, why was I mad? Or like, because this is like, if you saw the 15 card reading, the opportunity for healing and forgiveness is huge this December. So this is beautiful. And like when it says lost in space, sometimes you want to get lost. Like it's saying, I'm going to lose myself, lose all the ways I thought I should be, and all the stories I told myself that prevent me from really looking at the fact that I don't feel good, and just let it go and say like, well, what else could I experience? Or conversely, you might be feeling great anyway, and it's like, you want to learn something new. And if we do what we did, we're going to get what we got. And so this says, if I surrender to, trying something I've never done before, and letting myself get lost and getting out of my comfort zone, only miracles can come from this. So this is a very beautiful, interesting month for Scorpios. Very nice. I love doing this. Did you know I love doing this, Mark? Hope you guys like it. I don't see any more comments. I'm glad I didn't see that person's asking for ratings. Okay, here we go. Sagittarius is in the house now. Sagittarius, you are in your element. Sag is always hopeful. It's way more fun. There's a level of, again, hope, expansiveness. Jupiter is on tap right now. Remembering Mars is still retrograde, so there's a lot of things on hold, slowing down, things like that. And there's always that beautiful higher truth that Sagittarius is looking for. So the Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. A limitless possibility. This is so beautiful. And ego sublimation. So it's not about you. So this is also interesting. So the learning and the experience that you've been invited into, this energy for Sag, is about self-worth. Stepping in right away. My worth is inherent. Like, you don't have to prove your worth at all. That your limitless possibilities come from recognizing that you are just worthy for breathing. This is just really key. And the higher truth comes to you when it's not about you. When the Sagittarius allows the mirror to dissolve and you're no longer looking at yourself or projecting yourself onto others, it's more about again, surrendering to the divine, the divinity within you that is the source of limitless possibilities. It isn't coming from your personality, your persona, anything that you've been conditioned to see or think or expect. It's coming from something very pure in you that needs your presence and needs you to slow down, to be with it. Sometimes the vanishing mirror can be an uncomfortable moment as well, where where we start to see how our ego tends to sabotage us a little bit, but we need it. It's either going to edge God out or ease God's order, right? That's what we want. We want it when the ego is sublimated, when it is the lesser, it's not running the show, it's helping, right? Then it eases God's order. Then the universe can work through us, and when we're not the one fighting for control. So that's an interesting read for Sagittarius. Alrighty, Capricorn is next. I'm excited about Capricorn. My progressed moon is going into Capricorn next year, and my whole chart is a 10th house chart, so I like to work. I like to come up with new things to do. So I like to be productive, just to do it, not necessarily where it needs to go. So it lends me a little bit of organization that I don't have. Okay, here we go. Capricorn, beautiful, feast of plenty. The eyes of the eagle rising above the fray, and deep diver diving into a task. So what is the task? So Capricorn's being invited to recognize that every choice that you have made has a consequence. So, and that is not always pleasant, right? It's not always great. So you're able just to rise above, like to have a bird's eye view of how that has impacted you as we close out the year. How has my choices, what the choice that I made, how has that impacted me? You can't blame other people. This is all about you and the feast of plenty that you've engaged, but you've also brought something to the table, which is the consequence of your behavior, your action, your thinking, etc. It also can be quite positive too, but it talks about consequences. And then the requirement is to rise above the fray. And so I'm using the language of the second card to understand, well, what does this mean? And there's a fray, right? So there's some chaos here. So now we give you the opportunity to step back as the observer and go, I've learned from that. Now I'm going to dive into the real, what I really want to be doing, what I really love. I want to dive into the thing that lights me up, that brings me bliss, that I was here to, that I'm born to do. And we start to know our purpose when we become more and more present to the divinity within us. It just comes up naturally for us. And that's what's in store for Capricorn this month. That's a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. Let's look at Aquarius now. Okay, here we go, Aquarius. Aquarius, universe is your partner. A tidy house, clarity and organization, and drifter. This is great. So Aquarius, you're already operating. It's like the universe is your partner. So you're starting to see evidence everywhere right now in December. You're not having any problem with this whatsoever. Aquarius is seeing it. I get it. I feel it. Now there's an opportunity to organize your thoughts and make sure your environment is organized. It's really, really important for you to be in a tidy, organized environment. Otherwise, you could actually feel like you're all over the place, and that will actually prevent the conscious contact to the higher power that you need more on tap this month than any other month this year. Drifter, experiencing life as it comes right after a tidy house. So once this is all organized, you can sit back, and that really is that a relaxation, allowing life to show up for you, not overly planning, not trying to control outcomes, really just going with the flow that brings you exactly the kind of adventure, but it's more of a It's not an adventure, an external adventure. It's more an adventure inside you, and the experiences that you have when you are clear also about how you think about things. So that's actually really great as we close out the year for Aquarius to consider. And this is our last reading for 2022. Very exciting. Okay. I think life is just a gift. I'm just so grateful, super grateful all the time. Okay, Pisces. So there is a change inherent for Pisces right now. There's a change because it says the Horseman is the first card, the herald of change. You know changes are coming. You might hear about things, or people tell you about them. You feel it inside you. You're starting to make plans for change. Change is forefront. But the nature of the change is very interesting because, and I think every Pisces listening here needs to come to the cord cutting thing on December 13th, because root girl, which is the disowned self, is the change. It is the capacity for you to see and love and be compassionate toward the part of you you're running away from, because that's the eyes of the eagle, again, rising above the fray when you're trying to disown a part of you, and that may have, like we live in a system, in a world, right, where everything is connected, and the system of our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs have an impact on the outer world, on other people, on our relationships, and when one finger is pointing at someone else, 4 fingers are pointing, or 3 fingers. Is it 4 or 3? I think, Mark, you always say 3. Pointing back at yourself. Yes, 3.
The other one's a thumb.
The other one's a thumb, I know, that's right. Well, 3 fingers and a thumb are pointing at you. Let's get technical, Mark. But anyway, it's the idea that it's bringing back your
Colette,
attention.
that's my Virgo moon.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, oh, who cares what it is? It's a thing. I only get super, 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 super nerdy and drill down when I make oracle cards, and all of a sudden something happens. But anyway, so again, for Pisces, it is a beautiful opportunity this month to do some healing and to love that part of yourself that you don't want to love, because that's a message for all of us, I think, too. I think that we could all learn from this, from the Pisces personality this month. We all need that. We all need the tender, compassionate perspective on us all, for us all. So that's it. So don't forget, December the 13th, just go to ColetteBaron-Reid.com/cord cutting. We're doing it at noon Eastern Standard Time. No one's ever done this before, but I think it's an interesting topic, especially since trauma has become such a big topic in the past 2 years. And when we get attached to people, we have to ask, did I trauma bond with that person? Like that, is that why this is so unhealthy? So
Wow. Is that a new term, trauma bond?
No.
Wow, I think you just made that up.
No,
like
it's
that.
not a new term.
Oh, it's not
I
a
didn't
new
make it
term.
up. No.
Okay.
No.
Trauma bond.
I read.
Oh.
I study. It is definitely not. But that's a lot of times when we have resentments, or we have we've allowed people to take advantage of us, or we're just drained by other people. There's a thing that's happened. So that's what we're going to be addressing. And how does that thing happen? It happens through our moon sign. The quality of that happens to the moon. So we want to have really quality, beautiful releases in order to prepare for the solstice. Okay, so then you can go to all those wonderful events that are happening that other people are doing. There's going to be some beautiful ones. Stay tuned. We'll probably announce a few. I think Asha Frost is doing one. Hers are always amazing. I hope she is, because I just said she was. I better call her and tell her she better do one. But anyway, I will see you soon. See you on December 13th, I hope. At ColetteBaron-Reid.com/cord cutting. Mark, I want to see somebody's names and faces so I can wave at them.
You want to see his names and faces?
No, I don't know. Can I? I just want to say, Robin Carroll, you are so welcome. Laureen, you're welcome. Varushka, you are so welcome. Nora, yay. This is good. Lisa, yeah, come for the moon, I know. You are so welcome. Haley Reed. Nora Dawn, awesome. Liz Dill, you are so welcome. Love you all. And for those of you who are in the Oracle Circle membership, we are going live at 11:11. So, and for those of you who want to join, it's cbrlove.com. Just go there if you're interested in coming. It's $22 a month. It's pretty wild. And I'm doing Spirit Jam today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm also going live for the month soon. So see some of you there, and some of you, I'll just give you a big hug and a kiss. Mwah! Take care.